Now I would like to invite Mr. Sandeep S, who is a Regional Business Head Kerala for the HDFC Mutual Fund, to speak with us. Let's invite Mr. Sandeep S, located at Cochin. He has work experience of over 18 years in the, you are Mr. Sandeep, right? In the mutual fund industry. And with a big round of applause, let's invite Mr. Sandeep to speak with us.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you so much, Fourth Dimension team, for giving us this opportunity. I know it's cruel to have a session at 2 o'clock, that too without having lunch, and that too on a financial topic. Really sorry for that delay. And let me begin. So I know some of you are, or majority of you are entrepreneurs, and some of the media people also here. And we all know how to earn money, but wealth creation is more than just accumulating money. But it's all about creating a legacy, making a difference, and of course, attaining the financial freedom. That's what we learned from all the entrepreneurs in the morning sessions. And today I'm going to talk about best wealth creation tool, mutual funds. In India, there are 40 mutual fund companies, and the total assets under management of mutual funds would be around 66 lakh crore. And 1 year back, it was just 50 lakh crore, and 10 years back, it was just 10 lakh crore. So the reasons behind the AUM growth of mutual fund industry are, one would be the financial literacy, of course the digital penetration, and the low bank interest rates. So I must thank all the media people for promoting mutual fund Sahi Hai campaign as well. So with that note, let me begin. I know Dheeraj really also has covered the India growth story, so I won't be covering much in this. But let me tell you, India, an investment opportunity for the next decade. So there are multiple reasons. One would be India is the fastest growing economy in the world with 7% plus GDP growth every year. And the next would be the unmet infrastructure need. Government in the budget as well, they have mentioned that government has to spend 3.5x infrastructure spending to meet our infrastructure needs. The third would be the consumption. The next would be manufacturing. Next would be capital expenditure by the government and the private companies. So I will be covering these slides. And of course, this slide indicates currently India holds 13% to the world growth, and it will be 17% in the coming years. And this is the affluent population. We all know the demographic dividend of India. 65% of the population in India are below 35 years of age. And of course, we know the per capita income is $2,000 per head in India. And the affluent class with $10,000 or above is just 6 crore. And we believe it will reach 10 crore in another 4 year span. 50% of our population is below $1,500 per capita income, and it also will improve. That will help us to improve the consumption as well. Of course, manufacturing is another driving force. We all believe that India will become the third largest economy by 2027, reaching 7 trillion economy. To reach that, manufacturing currently contributes nearly about 15% to our GDP. It will improve to 20 or 25% in another 3 or 4 years span. This is another interesting chart. In 1980, China's and India's per capita income was just $200. Do you know how much is the current per capita income of China? It is $12,200. But in India, it is just $2,200. Because our 45% of the labor force working in agriculture, which is just 1/5 of the per capita income of other. This is another interesting chart. India is, the fastest growing consumer market as well. And of course, we all know China is the factory to the world, but we believe India will become the factory to the world. And our merchandise export currently stands at 1.8%, and it will be doubling in another 4 year span and reaching 3.5%, and we will become the factory to the world. This is another interesting chart. The reasons for the manufacturing, do you all know? That the manufacturing, an employee in a manufacturing company in India is just $200 and in China it is 1,000. That indicates the manufacturers who are coming to India will have 1/5 cost than China. And the second would be the STEM graduates, science, technology, engineering, mathematics graduates. We are the number one in the world. And English-speaking graduate, we are number one in the world. And the next would be the working age population. As I told you before, 65% of the population is below 35 years of age. So I'm going to the mutual fund part. So as you all know, our current household savings, 50% is in the property, 15% is in gold, and 15% is in bank deposits. But if you track the returns since 1980, bank deposits has delivered just 7.9% yield, and gold has delivered 10% yield, and inflation in India is more than 7%. But see the equity returns. The Sensex started in the year 1979 with 100 rupee points, 100 points, and today it's trading at 86,000. So it has delivered more than 15% CAGR return in the last 40 years. So the first key for the financial planning would be the asset allocation. Dr. Arun was mentioning about Sadhya. Our asset allocation should be like a Sadhya only. We should not have the rice only or with achar or with avial or with thoran, etc. We must have all the ingredients in your Sadhya, right? The same as that, to attain the financial freedom, you must have a proper asset allocation. We should not put the entire money into one bucket. These are the different asset classes inside the mutual funds. Some of you may be knowing about the mutual fund categorization, but let me explain this. So some of you are corporates, the entrepreneurs, may be keeping your money in the current account with 0 interest, and the salaried people who are getting the salary from the company, and they are keeping it in the savings account with 3% interest. Do you know mutual fund, liquid funds with 0 risk? Those investing into the bonds and government securities, which are giving 7% or more. It will give you the liquidity, it will give you better return than your normal traditional bank savings or the current account. So it starts with liquid and overnight funds. If you track the risk metrics, liquid and overnight are the safest in mutual funds. So this part is for the savings, and the next for investments. So you must understand the difference between savings and investments. Savings is just a prerequisite for investments. So it's just you are keeping aside some money for investments, that is savings. So you can have the bond investments or the debt investments with 7% to 8% kind of yield, that to investing into the corporate bond, treasury bills, or the government securities, etc. So this is one of the part. And the second would be core equity schemes. It starts with hybrid oriented schemes. If you're opting a bank FD, you may be getting around 7% kind of interest. But if you have 2-year span or 3-year span or 1 year plus span, you can have hybrid oriented scheme. It will be a mix of equity and debt oriented schemes. So it may have with 50% equity or 50% debt allocation. So if you want cash flow also, you can opt hybrid oriented schemes. If you are looking for long-term wealth creation, then you must have core equity oriented products that have risk as well. It will have risk as well. So you must understand, we must have a proper asset allocation, and based on the financial goals, you must assign an investment vehicle for that. Suppose if you wish to go from here to Whitela, or if you are going to Technopark, you may opt Uber. If you are going to Mumbai, you will opt a flight. If you are going to Dubai, you will opt a flight. Just like vehicle which you are choosing for your financial goals, you must choose the respective financial investment vehicle as well. So hope you understand a little bit about the mutual fund products. So mutual fund will have single investments as well, or if you want to opt, just like our recurring deposits, we call it as systematic investment plan. You all know HDFC Mutual Fund is one of the biggest fund houses in India with a track history of 30 years. One of our products has delivered 21% return. For a 10,000 rupee SIP for the 30 years, invested around 36 lakh, and the current value is 20.4 crore. That is the power of compounding. If you wish to have compounding, you must have long-term investments with smaller amount. That is called systematic investment plan. Every one of us must have a systematic investment plan for your long-term goals like kids' education or for your retirement or for kids' marriage, etc. And systematic transfer plan would be, as I told you before, you'll have a savings account in the proper mutual fund, liquid fund with a 7% kind of yield. From there, you can start a systematic transfer to an equity-oriented scheme because we worried about the market volatility. So you can have a systematic transfer from safe scheme to aggressive scheme. That is called systematic transfer plan. So that's it from my end. Hope you understand a little bit. If you wish to have more mutual fund knowledge, I'll be here around. I mean, during the lunch session, we'll meet and discuss. Thank you so much, Bharat and Shankar, for this opportunity. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mr. Sandeep. I request you to please be on the stage, and I request Ms. Ranjini Menon, senior media personality, to please come on the stage and present him a memento as token of appreciation.